them, but there is a better way to get straight and parallel cuts from your circular saw, and that's to use what's called a rip guide. The one I'm going to take a look at today is the Bora NGX rip guide. Now, Bora sent this one to me to test out, so let's get it set up and make some cuts. This rip guide can be set up for left-handed or right-handed users, and the mounting plate allows you to use circular saws that have the blade on the right-hand side or the left-hand side of the tool. So let's say that you're left-handed. You're going to hold the guide with your right hand, and you'll set up the plate here, so that way you're using the saw with your left hand. But if you're right-handed, like I am, you'll have this flipped over. So you'll have your left hand here on the guide, and then you'll have the saw plate here. Now, if you have to cut on the right-hand side of a sheet or the left-hand side of a sheet, you can switch this thing around to meet that application. So let me show you real quick how the mounting plate gets put onto the guide. Before we put the mounting plate on these guide rails, we want to make sure that this tab is flipped over, so that way this wheel is unlocked. Then we're just going to take the plate and slide it onto the end of the guide rail. If this mounting plate binds as you're getting it started on these two guide rails, you can flip it back over, loosen these 4 bolts until this plate guides smoothly along the length of travel. I'm going to do that real quick. There, that's a lot better. Today I'm going to be using a cordless circular saw. So first I'm going to take the battery out so that way I don't cut my hands on accident. To get this mounted to the guide, what I'm going to do first is move this over so that the plate can be sitting flat on the surface. I just simply lift up the blade guard and line up this edge of the saw's base with this edge of the guide. And I'm going to push it all the way forward until it hits against this rubber stop here in the front. And then I pull this clamp up at the back and lock it in place. Both of the guide rods have a scale on them. And all you have to do is line up the tick mark with whatever dimension you need to then make your cut. With the way the saw is set up currently, I'm going to be using this tick mark as my reference. And to dial in a dimension, all I do is turn this knob. And once I get to the right spot, I just flip this lever over and lock it down. And now the guide plate is locked in place and I'm ready to make a cut. Let's see how straight and parallel this cut came out off of the rip guide. That is definitely very straight, very consistent. So let's look at how close to parallel it is. On this end, we are just inside of 7 inches, and down here, it's exactly the same. So definitely got a really good parallel cut using the rip guide on this piece.